Hi there. This is a video that I've been meaning to do for quite a long time. In fact, nearly a year. I bought this radio, which is a Sony ICF-5500M, otherwise sometimes known as a Captain 55, at my radio club rally last year, the Harwell Amateur Radio Society, which was in February last year, and it's almost exactly a year because the rally is actually happening this year on Sunday, so it's been almost exactly a year. Now, the reason I've finally managed to get around to doing it is because I use this for listening to sort of BBC Radio 5 Live. It doesn't have long wave, but I switched it on the other day and it wasn't working. And it's the usual problem with the battery compartment. This radio dates back to 1973, so it's about 45 years old, and the battery compartment, it looks at least 45 years old. There's so much corrosion. One of the contacts basically fell out of the bottom of it when I took the batteries out, so I'll do a separate video on that. But I like the kind of military styling of the Sony shortwave radios from the sort of early to mid 1970s. They produced quite a few models. This is probably, I think this is the cheapest one, or with the least amount of features. That this is the 55M. They did a 77. And various others. I think it was the Sky Scanner series. But anyway, this was for sale at the Harwell Radio Rally last year. I think he wanted 40 quid for it. And we got talking, and he said, well, you're obviously a kind of vintage Sony aficionado. I'll let you have it for 30 quid. So I bought it for 30 quid. And in working condition. And I was very happy with my purchase. Now, it's got a lot of features for an analog radio, and I'm going to run through them because they are many. I don't know really how sensitive it is because I've not really used it for DXing. At some point I'll do that, but for analog radio, so you've got let's go on the top panel. So you've got an on-off switch, you've got a mechanical kind of clockwork timer. And then you've got a switch, tune battery VU. So that's basically for the signal strength meter. You can toggle between the strength of the signal you're listening to versus the battery strength. Now the batteries I'm using here, I'm not sure how they're maybe a little bit flat, but there you go. So, and then there's an attenuator. So there's a DX local switch, and then there's an interesting pop-up antenna. So push the button here, and there goes the antenna, which is, I don't know, I can't help but think that's a slightly overkill, but anyway, sort of a nice touch. And then the front panel, so it's obviously analog. It has FM, standard FM broadcast band. It's got medium wave, and then it's got two shortwave bands. So it tunes marine band, which is 1.8 megahertz to about 4.5 megahertz, and then the broadcast bands from 4.5 through to 12 megahertz. It's a shame it hasn't got long wave, which makes me think probably this radio was designed for North America. I'm not sure, but that is a bit of a shame. As you know, I'm a long wave aficionado. And then we've got a loudness switch, which
when we say hard border, what do we mean?
I'm not sure really how much effect that has. And then there's a light for the VU meter, which does work. There you go. It's not very bright. Slider for the volume, and then separate bass and treble controls, which is nice. And then on the side here, there's 5 sockets. There's a DC power in, and then there's 5 sockets. So there's a recording socket, auxiliary in. I'm going to zoom in because I can't even read it. MPX out, DC out. There you go. Headphones. There's actually on the other side, there's actually a little compartment to put an earpiece in. This little thing here. In there's a little hole. And then tuning on the side. And then the band switch. So FM, shortwave, marine, medium wave. And then on the rear of the set, you can attach an earth. There's a terminal for an earth and a kind of long wire type antenna. So there you go. So it's, you know, it's quite fully featured. In fact, I might be able to just show you that. So there you go. You can just see, oh, here, and here, the earth and antenna. So what's happening here is, so that because the battery compartment is disintegrating, I'm running it off a battery pack. And so I've got to repair it, but I thought before I do that video I would share the actual radio with you, because as I said, I quite like the military styling from the 1970s that Sony used to do. It's just a shame that after 45 years it's showing signs of sort of corrosion, but you know, I'll get that sorted, and I don't want it to go the same way as my ATS 803A, for example. Yeah, but there'll be another video on that. I'll do a video on, it's quite interesting to have a look at the inside of this radio, but I'll do a separate video on that. So anyway, I hope you found that interesting. Thanks very much for watching.